Hi, I'm Raven. I use she, her pronouns.
Hi, I'm Alex. I use they, them pronouns.
And welcome to another episode of Smoking Out the Closet. Happy 420, everybody.
Happy 420.
Woo! It's our podcast's first 420.
Heck yeah. It's the first 420 since I've been a legal stoner. I'm off work. This
Right?
is great.
So first thing I want to do is kind of shout out my coworkers because, they're all working hard. There's only like 3 of us off of work right now. Today, everyone else is on the clock.
The dispensary dressed up so cool. Like they had all these weed balloons and red and green and black.
There's
what are
green
those
and
called?
dark green ribbons.
Green and dark green. Yeah, ribbons and like they had little leaf confettis, which was cool.
Yeah, we did Spirit Week. So today was just wear your most work appropriate cannabis stuff, like nothing that bongs or joints, because it's illegal to do that. We're not allowed to have paraphernalia
We're not allowed
like
to
that.
smoke it. So anything other than that. But yeah.
Like
everybody looks so cool and happy and like a bunch of green eyeshadow. I saw lots of green eyeshadow.
So I just want to shout them out. And just, all the bud tenders and dispensary workers that are working today, just shout you guys out because
wouldn't be the same without you guys.
I know it's going to be a big, rough day for those of you who are at work. So, go on your breaks, smoke or vape or use whatever you got, and just get through the day.
It's like the Black Friday of the cannabis world.
It kind of is. But yeah, today's 420.
Heck yeah, it is. We went to our dispensary today.
Yeah, the one I work at.
Yeah, you got some new stuff.
You want to talk about what you're got going on? We're vaping today because it's really cold and windy outside.
Yeah, it's rather windy. It's supposed to be like a high of mid-50s or something, but like
right now it's super cold.
It's chilly. If you're in the shade, you're cold. I put a hoodie on. I'm cold in the apartment right now.
Well, I will say we are recording this 420 morning.
Yeah.
And I'm going to release this I'm going to have it scheduled for 4:20 in the afternoon today, Eastern Standard Time.
I can't place it.
So
you know what I was thinking about later? Because we're going to Sushi Bob.
Yeah.
We get lit and just walk over.
We could do that.
We could walk over.
We're going to get good all-you-need sushi place tonight. I want to try. Oh, so do you want to talk about what we're smoking on?
What we're reviews? Smoking. What are you smoking? Or vaping on, I should say.
Yeah, we're vaping today.
Hair.
No, that's Bear's hair because he jumped up on my lap.
Yeah, we're vaping because of wind.
So I got a Standard Farms disposable vape. I got the Bruce Banner, mostly just because the box made me happy because it is actually colored in the Hulk's color scheme, the same like green and purple.
Yeah,
that makes me really happy as an artist and as a comic artist specifically. So I had to get it. I'm feeling sufficiently stoned with this thing. I mean, sufficiently. Like, it's really nice. It's very piney and gassy.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's a really good, like, I can get up and go kind of high.
Thank you, Bear.
So I give it a 3 out of 5. It's not too bad. It's not super great, but I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah.
What about you?
I am vaping on Hell's Cherries by Doubletree. There's
Double Bear.
Double Bear, sorry.
Doubletree is a hotel.
Doubletree is a hotel. I'm stoned. Can you tell?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is nice. It's not a whole lot of cherry like I was expecting, like the fruit, like you button to the fruit.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you challenge your friends to tie the stem in a knot, that's kind of what it tastes like a bit. But I'm not disappointed. I like it. It gets me sufficiently stoned. I feel like I can also be functional. This would be something to discreetly carry and hit, like
because you got
work and stuff.
The dart pod.
Yeah, system. I got the dart pod. So this literally I can conceal it in my hand and like all those people I used to make fun of with like their freaking jewels. I could do that with my weed pen though. Very discreet.
Honestly, the disposable from Standard Farms looks almost like a jewel pod.
If I would have pulled the fucking pod out, it says Double Bear right fucking there. Yeah, I'm stoned. But yeah, this gets me sufficiently stoned. It's really nice. It's hit smooth. I have a little bit of issue with the pod right now. I'm not quite sure if it's that something's like it's not hitting quite right every once in a while when I hit it, but I don't mind it. Probably wouldn't be my go-to over like the 510 thread, so
There you go. I think you might have it in backwards.
It goes in a specific way?
I don't know.
Anyway, but
It's the first time we've used the dart pod.
Yeah, we're still feeling it out. I like it though. I made the joke too. This is smaller than my damn Roku remote.
Yeah, you're gonna lose
I
it.
lose that goddamn thing all the time. This is gonna be. I'll fall asleep with it. I accidentally fell asleep on my 510 pen. Your 510 pen. The other
day. So let's talk about the origin of 420 a little bit. I guess kind of like everyone's going to talk about it that has a podcast that they haven't talked about it that does weed, but I feel like for our listeners, we have a lot of new people. And some of those that are stateside or on the East Coast may not know the origin of 420. Just know that 420 is a big weed holiday.
Yeah, and then it's 420 equals pot.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I was like, I don't know why, but that's pot.
So the origin is basically was started by a group of friends who called themselves the Waldos. They would hang out by this science statue wall at San Rafael High School in Marin. And there's no E at the end, so I'm going to believe it's Marin County in Colorado or California. Sorry. Sorry, I had a burp stuck for some reason. They would kind of like go in the halls at like 420, and like they would kind of know, hey, we're going to smoke here at 420 after school. They kind of went away from the jocks. They were originally like going under the bleachers and everything apparently, but then they just started going at the wall because they just hated, I guess, the jocks. Some places said they were originally student athletes.
Yeah.
But they would go out and then they looked. There was a veteran for the Coast Guard that apparently left a stash. Like a flower
plant.
growing.
Yeah, like a growing plant that they were supposedly like looking for, and they had like this map of where it was supposed to be at.
And they never found it.
They didn't find it, no. But it was something for them to like. They would smoke, and then they would go look for this plant.
Yeah, and it's really cool. I'm gonna put my phone. So I'm actually gonna pull up. So these 5 students: Steve Capper, David Reddix, Jeffrey Knoll, Larry Schwartz, and Mark Gravich, in 1971, devised a secret code used to indicate to each other they would meet later in the day to smoke cannabis. And those are the Waldos. And they all, I believe, all of them are still alive.
That's pretty cool. Wonder if they still get together at 420 to smoke pot.
Oh, probably.
If they still live around each other,
Nicknamed the Waldos because they smoked cannabis against the wall. Their chosen smoking spot was the statue of 19th century scientist Louis Pasteur at the school.
That's cool.
Reddix told Time magazine, "We got tired of Friday night football scene with all the jocks. We were the guys sitting under the stands, smoking a doobie, wondering what we were doing there. The student athlete learned of an abandoned..." Oh, they were student athletes.
Yeah.
The student athletes learned of an abandoned cannabis crop growing near Point Reyes Peninsula Coast Guard Station. However, despite their many attempts to find it, they were unsuccessful.
That's pretty cool. Well, I told you, like, my aunt used to grow cannabis on my grandmother's farm.
Yeah.
And I remember walking like the fence rows, and like I'd walk up the hill, and my mom was like, "Wow, you're really, active right now." I'm thinking, I'm looking for Sandy's pot. If any of this is still left here, if Grandma forgot to rip one of those up, that would be great. Never found it, but that's something fun to do after school. Instead of being home, I'd just go walk around and like look in the fence rows, and I'd end up finding like bunny rabbits, and there's a bunch of like birds that would build their nests in the fence rows. I'd see all the flowers and stuff too.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking for Sandy's pot plants, seeing if Grandma forgot to rip one up.
God.
Yeah.
We were actually at work yesterday, speaking of like ripping and burning stuff like your grandma did with the Sandy stuff. I was telling them how one of your former coworkers, what the regulation for firefighters are supposed to do.
Oh God, yeah, holy shit.
At work, and literally one of our security guards goes, "What? No, the people rescuing lives, let them breathe that shit in. Let them get high."
Yeah, gosh, they get so stoned.
We were making the joke as like, "Man, we need to get you out of here." "No, this dispensary is my home." "This place is my home."
Why could I see that also being Ruth from like Disjointed?
Oh my
if
God.
Her dispensary started going up, this dispensary's my home.
Fuck. Do you have a topic you want to talk about?
Yeah, I had a couple. My first one was kind of interesting that I kind of stumbled upon because I just Googled 420 because it's everywhere. It's fucking everywhere today. I just Googled 420 and this is about the first one I got. It's an article from greenentrepreneur.com. It was published this morning, really early, like 9:30 this morning when we went to the dispensary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the title is This Company Launched a 420 quote potline for all your cannabis related questions. And it says feel free to call the service whose goal is to spread education and 420 cheer. Then they made the joke of it's like the Butterball Turkey fucking hotline for pot, right? You go to grandma's house and somebody forgets the instructions or it gets wet or torn in the freezer and you call the 1-800 number. It's like that today, but for pot. So any questions that you have about pot, you can call them, because they actually have like a whole a panel of experts from like bud tenders to growers, and they'll be available to answer any of your questions. It was from 9 a.m. today until 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so wherever that is locally for you.
Is that only for today?
It's only today. I'm not quite sure what time it's going to be whenever this posts for everyone, but yeah, it's only for today.
We're posting today.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to think of what time zones are weird. What time zones it'll be whenever people listen to this. But yeah. And they'll answer any kind of questions like what is a terpene? Which is better, a sativa or an indica?
I feel like we should.
Does it matter? Them. I really would like to call them. I don't know what I'd ask them though. But they also had a little bit like more chill questions like what's your favorite flower? And if you would be a strain, what would it be? Like kind of like personal stuff too, like what's your favorite strain?
Dude, we should totally call them on the pod.
Do you wanna?
Do you want to?
I'm nervous.
Okay.
I get anxious calling people.
I know you
That's
do.
why I haven't called them. Even like those prank numbers that I knew there wasn't anything on the other line you'd call in high school, I'd still get nervous calling them. But yeah, the number if anybody wants to call is 1-833-4-HIGHLY or 1-833-444-4459. You have to be 21 plus. That's their only restriction because where this is legal, you do have to be 21 plus.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also message them on Instagram if you are like me and you have phone anxiety. That on Instagram they're at highly Dutch Corey Organic. It's HIGHLYDUTCHCHORGANIC. I just realized he just tells the spell on.
Yep.
Oopsies. But yeah, highly Dutch Corganic. And yeah, they just made this line just to be like, yo, you have questions about cannabis? Let us know. We're just the spirit of 420 is to celebrate this plant, so we're gonna celebrate by educating, and I think it's great. It's cool.
That is really cool, especially with like New Jersey going recreational tomorrow.
Exactly.
421.
They missed it by one day, but still.
I think honestly part of it. I think it's probably a little smart because they're new recreational places. Do you have any idea how crazy that's going to be? Even more crazy on 420.
Yeah, if you go rec legal on 420, it's going to be a crazy rush of a crazy amount of people.
Even more than just going rec in the first place.
Yeah, and you're going to overload these poor new rec places and these poor new workers who are like, cool, cannabis job, and then they're just going to get stampeded upon.
Mm-hmm. So
words are hard. I'm sorry.
Understandable if that's the reason why they pushed it back,
Yeah.
Also, probably just shout that out. Hey, New Jersey, congrats, you guys.
Yeah, congrats, New Jersey.
We've already gotten stuff and being like, hey, don't go across the border and bring it back or you'll be in trouble.
Don't do that. Stupid TikToks.
Well, it's from Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, it is.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So my next thing is Cannabinoid Hyperemesis Syndrome or CHS.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of people talk about it on Twitter. Some people are saying it's like a boogeyman kind of thing. It's just some fake thing to kind of try keeping cannabis illegal or make it more regulated or using it as an excuse to do whatever.
It's like popcorn along with the vapes.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
No, popcorn lung with vapes can't happen. CHS is actually a thing that
A thing that can happen.
Does happen.
Okay.
So there's not a whole lot of research. I mean, there's a lot of research being done, but there's no answer yet. There's a lot of theories and ideas, but no actual. This is 100% why it's happening. We'll take Markiplier because you and me both know him.
Yeah.
Big YouTuber guy, half Korean. He cannot process alcohol like a lot of people, and that is a big issue for people in Asia. But it's more common with, I believe, Korean people.
Yeah.
Because a friend of mine who's no longer sadly with us, she was Korean, and she told me it's a big issue in Korea. That people who are Asian are more susceptible to alcohol poisoning because their body can't process it, something with their liver or something, right?
Yeah.
But we have concrete evidence of that. We have, this is why, because the body doesn't do it this way, because, this certain group's livers don't function, the evolutionary reason, don't do this. And it's more common in this group. We see it also in other groups, but, it's this thing, right? And it's not to say, hey, it's just Asian people, but it's more commonly found from what I've heard, and I don't want to seem like I'm being accidentally racist. It's just what I've heard, like, you and me being why we're more susceptible to skin cancer.
Yeah, that's what I've heard with this too. Is like, and it's just a excuse me, it's a gene-linked, region-linked thing.
Yeah,
it's the same. It's the same thing like with Darwin's finches. It's just all that this different patterns of things are.
I'm always worried because, like, I don't want to seem like I'm accidentally being racist.
No, I'm a firm believer of we are all the same. We're all the same species.
We just
treat each other the same. Yeah, like it's the only reason the skin color is a different thing is because that's just an adaptability, and it's the same thing with like why stuff like this happens. We might not know the reason anymore, but we might have done it as a defense mechanism at one point, or to save ourselves from something harmful.
But with this cannabis, it hasn't been linked to any group, any age, any gender yet.
Yeah,
it's been random. But it's a condition that leads to repeated bouts of vomiting, shaking, and feeling cold. It is rare, and so far has been only seen in daily long-term cannabis users. This research is being done, but we still can't find what the exact cause is. And I put a thing that said human bodies are weird and complex in my notes.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, some people can't process alcohol. I have coworkers who can't drink milk.
You have a hard time with pork?
Yeah, I have a hard time. It makes me sick.
Yeah.
There are theories. It's with CHS, it's more of the stomach receptors, the C1, C2 receptors, not the THC receptor in the brain.
Yeah.
But some people think it's also maybe a combination of the both, not working right or something.
Sure. Like that's different though than being allergic to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is like that alcohol. There is a name for alcohol syndrome.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. But I do remember Mark talking about it because they used to play drunk Minecraft all the time. That was a big thing on his channel, and he was like, hey, listen guys, this is why I can't, and this is why I also wasn't on for a while, is because I was in the hospital because of this. So
developed an allergy that they probably cannot process and assimilate alcohol, particularly one enzyme that is composed in it. It's like people who have a gluten allergy, the intestinal blockage issue can be caused by this.
Same thing kind of with lactose intolerance. You're not making the correct enzyme to process the lactose in the milk, and it gives you an adverse reaction. Some people vomit and like profusely whenever they drink milk because of their lactose intolerance as well. Like, I feel like that's it, is like we're missing some sort of acid or protein or something to attach to whatever's in that'll make us sick if we don't digest it or break it down somehow, is what's going on there.
Huh. Yeah, apparently the medical term is called Asian flush. That just...
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't remember what it's called. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, but apparently alcohol sensitivities are different based between regional areas of like genetics and everything.
Yeah.
Which that's weird. But humans are complex. We're weird species, you know? But yeah, Asian flesh does sound kind of...
that doesn't sound quite...
cool.
No. With it.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, it can happen to anybody. It's just it's common to that regional area of our species.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on. I just don't want people to exist.
No, that's just the way that it is.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the way they found that it happens. And, like, do you think these scientists don't feel bad? You were the person studying this shit, and you're like, hey, this is attached to Asians. They're like, do you have something against? No, listen, look at our studies.
True. I don't know. I guess it's just something I always worry about.
Yeah, I know.
Being white.
And listen, the fact that you are white and you worry about it makes you not part of the problem. It makes you part of the solution. Because the people who are actually racist don't worry about it.
You're right.
That's just like asking, hey, I think I'm going crazy. Just the fact you're questioning it means you're not.
Also, the reason why I was laughing a second ago, because I went to hit my disposable
Did you hit
vape.
it upside down?
I hit it upside down.
Oh my god.
Well, okay, to be fair, the
right
right side up, the box is packaged in, is the green is on top.
Yeah.
But the disposable pen, the green is on the bottom.
Oh my god, yeah. What? No, that's...
And Hulk's color scheme, green is on top, never the bottom.
God.
Hulk's upside down on the vape.
You're sucking on the Hulk's feet.
No. Okay, moving on.
Toes.
All right. We got 10 minutes till our break.
I'm sufficiently stoned.
Yeah, I can tell.
Oh, I like this.
Do you want a good little LGBT news?
Yeah, absolutely.
So recently with Florida's, Don't Say Gay bill and everything that's been coming out and everything, Disney, the CEO who originally used Disney money and funds to support these backers, has kind of been doubling back and everything. Some people were very confused, thought it was just a political stunt. I found out why.
Oh.
Charlie Cora. Charlie Cora is Disney's great-grandchild.
Yeah.
Who recently came out as transgender.
Aww.
Charlie, the child of Roy P. Disney and Sherry Disney, came out, I think, last week publicly. After we recorded the podcast. I think it was like a day or two after we recorded the podcast last episode. Yeah. I'm like, I wish we could have talked about this.
Wait, does this mean... Oh, shit. Sorry. Does this mean Disney's not going to donate stuff to, like, the Don't Say Gay people anymore?
I think the family's going to put their foot down with that.
Oh. Disney's going to get real cool real fast with a bunch of shit.
Charlie appeared at last month's Human Rights Campaign dinner and pledged to match... Originally, the family... planned to match up to $250,000 in donations, but later changed it to $500,000 worth of donations.
Where's money going?
The Human Rights Campaign.
The Human Rights Campaign. I'm sorry, my brain skipped over that part.
They were at the Human Rights Campaign dinner to raise money. So this is really cool. I mean, Charlie uses he/they pronouns. They do feel a little bad for not speaking up earlier, but it's understandable when you're living. They're a teacher, first off.
Yeah.
They teach in Florida, so it's affecting them.
Yeah.
And just as a teacher themselves, being like, yeah, I'm trans, and I can't. Like, what am I supposed to do now with this legislation? Am I not supposed to teach?
Yeah.
Also, they felt bad because they being quiet, but I know how hard it is to say it, even to yourself. It's
a struggle trying to, like, because I was there.
Yeah.
And you were there with me through that, and it's hard to even say to yourself, am I not, like, society default?
Yeah.
Essentially.
Am I not what I was assigned at birth?
Yeah. And it's hard because that's how you were like raised your whole life,
Mhm.
and you have to break down a lot of that stuff, and
And
be okay with it. That it's okay to break down that stuff. It's okay to be who you actually are.
and Charlie came out privately a couple years ago, but I think it was just mostly to immediate family.
Mm-hmm.
So this public thing is blown up now
Yeah.
that they've come out to the public. And I think that's probably why Bob Chapek is actually doubling back and everything. And they're like, dude, what the fuck? We need this. And Charlie's gone on to talk about how there was no representation when, I mean, they're only 3 years older than me. They're in their 30,
Wow.
like just 30.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's understandable because like me and them, I mean, and you too, because there was not a huge gap between you and them, only 5 years. Grew up
Mhm.
in the same kind of era, so the same kind of representation on TV.
Yeah.
We didn't have it,
No.
and if it was, we're the butt of the joke.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I don't. I mean, it's good that they're donating money. I'm really happy about that. We need more representation, and hopefully, here soon, we're going to see more and more of that from Disney.
Yeah.
It's my hope. But we
We need to
can't.
bring back Owl House.
Yeah, we
Bring
can't.
back freaking Owl House, please.
We can't have like these companies being like, okay, well then the board of directors controls everything, but the people who are the family are doing what they should be doing.
And I would feel so much better because like I want to watch a lot of DCU stuff. I want to watch a lot of Disney Universe, Disney Cinema Universe. Yeah, DCU. When I say that, it sounds like DC Universe.
Yeah.
God, those acronyms are exactly the same. I'm sorry. The Disney Collective Universe.
The Disneyverse.
The Disneyverse. There we go. I couldn't think of what the hell it was called for a second.
I don't know if there's an actual name for it.
I don't know, but I want to get into the Disneyverse of things that are owned by Disney, right? But I feel bad because Disney has done some stuff like this before, but then they go every June and they rainbow wash their freaking Disney hats.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's corporate pride. It would feel better if it was actual pride. I'm gonna hope they're gonna fix it now. Like, fingers crossed, I guess.
Yeah, it's just something we're gonna have to bide our time and wait and see.
Yeah.
We're gonna hit our break right in that time. We're real close.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take our break, and then we're gonna come back and talk a little bit more about some more weed stuff.
More weed stuff.
More weed. All right, folks, it's time for another On This Day in History. We're celebrating 420 with some really, 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 really big gay news. Because there's a lot of historical figures that were born today. And I might save some of them because some of them are from like pre-1800s. We'll go a little more common into like the last 2 centuries, this and last century. 1937 on April 20th, George Takei was born, known for being Hariku Sulu, the helmsman of the USS Enterprise on the original Star Trek series. 2005, Takei revealed in an issue of Frontiers magazine that he was gay and in a committed relationship with his partner Brad Altman for the last 18 years at that point in 2005. In 2014, in May, the Gay Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation honored Takei with the GLAAD Award. The GLAAD Visto Russo Award, which presented to an openly gay LGBT media professional who has promoted a significant difference in promoting equality for the community. And that's really cool because like Star Trek has always been one of those things that's like shown progress, just like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It's been one of those things that's been like first African American person on TV, women and men, men and women working together. This utopian future of like progress of like everyone is equal and everyone has to work together and everyone is important. And that's one thing a lot of Star Trek fans or Trekkies really love about the series. And that's been a thing in my family for a very long time. And my grandmother was a Trekkie. One of my dad's uncles is a Trekkie. I've loved both Star Wars and Star Trek. And my wife is Alex is a huge Star Trek nerd. So I just kind of wanted to shout out to Kay and, just wish him a happy birthday. And going a few years closer to us. 1969, 4/20/69, nice. Frank Kameny orders 100 "gay is good" buttons, indicating a move from his position of fitting in to promoting and celebrating his gay existence. He was a gay American rights activist. I don't know why I can't speak right now. He has been referred to as one of the most significant figures in the American gay rights movement. In 1957, Kameny was dismissed from his position as an astronomer in the U.S. Army's map service in Washington, D.C. because of his homosexuality, leading him to begin a Herculean struggle with the American establishment that would spearhead a new period of militancy in the homosexual rights movements of the early 1960s. The U.S. Civil Service Commission Kameny formally appealed his firing by the U.S. Civil Commission Service due to homosexuality, although his unsuccessful proceeding was notable as the first civil rights claim based on sexual orientation pursued in the U.S. court. Now, sadly, Kameny is no longer with us. He died in 2011. But as a big spearhead for our rights, and probably the reason why his voice was a part of, okay, you could serve, but don't ask, don't tell, and then that fight he kept going until don't ask, don't tell was abolished, is a big thing to make note of, as especially with myself being a veteran in the United States Navy, because Kameny didn't get to see that. Don't ask, don't tell was abolished in 2013, right? Early 2013, right before I joined the military. So I kind of wanted to make a big note for Kameny there and just kind of, honor the struggle and the fight that he started that people like me can pick up. And it's a big fight as we are going back to trans people joining the military. It's been a big fight for us with the last administration. So I just kind of want to make a note there and kind of just let us know where our history came from. But this has been On This Day, 420, and we hope to see you for more history. All right, and we're back.
Hello.
Do you have another topic you want to talk about?
I do. I had a Vice article that I came across today.
Okay.
And it was written and published this morning on 420 about how to smoke weed at work. Because I know there are a lot of people. Actually, it's yesterday. Sorry, 4/19. Anyway, I forgot that this one wasn't also published today, but it was for today. It was intended for today. It was at 9:30 last night. It was intended for today about how to smoke weed at work, because some of you, I know, are not as lucky as us to be able to have off on 420. So it's giving you.
Can we talk about that meme real quick?
Yeah.
You saw with freaking Tommy Lee Jones freaking holding the newspaper with his glasses looking down and just kind of like looking like, really?
Yeah.
It's like when I asked my boss for 420 off.
Yeah, I was like, really? I asked my boss for 420 off over text, and he was just like, "Yeah, I think we can make that work." Didn't even ask why.
Your former boss is
thick as fucking.
Is very sheltered.
Yeah, he's sheltered and thick. He used to smoke pot in college. Did I tell you that?
No,
I could not see him smoking pot. He went to a Catholic college. How do you get pot in a Catholic college?
I don't know. How do you have lesbian sex at a Catholic college? I mean,
that
happens a lot.
That's easier than getting pot in there, I feel like.
I don't know.
I don't know either. But yeah, that's one surefire way to make sure your kids don't end up Catholic, other than fucking my old boss for some reason is still Catholic. Anyway. But yeah, that's how you can get stoned at work, and I have some experience in this too, so we can talk about it. Getting high on the clock for some reason is still really weirdly taboo. It's medicine, like even medically, it's you're taking your medicine.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an anxiety disorder, it's really important you bring it with you to work sometimes if you work in like retail or
food service.
Yeah, and when you know what you're doing and what strains to smoke, you can have a pretty chill time. And I can confirm that lemon G. Whenever we had it in edibles, I take edibles to work all the time. Holy frick. It was great. And then as long as your job does not drug test you, you should be fine to go ahead and like partake on the job. My caveat is in some places you're working, you're actually protected under your state's law that you can't be fired for popping positive for THC on a drug test, except for if you have like your CDLs or you work for some sort of federal government, like you carry mail. Yeah.
But the exception to that too is you have to have your medical card.
Yeah, you have to have your card.
Some of the rec states are kind of more lenient with that and everything.
And like it also went on, so that was my caveat to what they said about. And then how do you walk that line between being high and getting paid biweekly? Be smart with your strains. Know what is going to be good for work and what's not going to be good for work. Know which terpenes make you sleepy, and focus more on the terps that will impact how the terps will impact you than the THC to CBD ratio.
Mm-hmm.
Because these terps can either make or break your being high at work. It can make you freak out, or you're going to accidentally fall asleep and get fired. You don't want to do that. They were interviewing, her last name was Cupcake, a former bud tender who has a Ask a Bud Tender column for weed maps. And they say to reach for strains heavy in pinene, including alpha pinene and limonene, which is probably my favorite terp. I love limonene.
Mm-hmm.
Pinene gives you that spruce tree smell. It's in Northern Lights and Jack Herr. Those are two strains super high in it. And it smells like basically a quote dank forest.
Yeah.
And gets you alert and focused and productive. We think though that's what's making me kind of freak out because I'm alert, really alert.
Yeah.
And that's when my anxiety starts to trigger because I think about a lot of things.
But like everyone's chemistry is different. I have a coworker who the teriopoline, which is supposed to help with anti-anxiety, triggers anxiety in them.
So you have to know, that goes back to knowing which terps, like how it meshes with your body for you personally, because these are all just suggestions, right? But limonene is the citrusy lemony kind of smell, like you open a can of, they said like you open a container of Country Time lemonade and then citrus punches you in the face.
I could go for some citrus time lemonade right now.
Yeah, Country Time lemonade.
Ooh, I should throw that infused mix for mixed drinks I did.
Throw that sugar in there and like some lemonade. Oh yeah.
I don't know if it'll have an emulsifier though.
No. Anyway, sorry, off topic. But yeah, the it's a good elevator for depression or fatigue. And like I get anxious when I start feeling like I'm stagnant, like I'm not doing anything, like I'm not doing something I enjoy, or I'm doing something productive, or I'm doing something for work, or like I'm doing something for the podcast. That is the time where my anxiety is like, you really should be doing this. Why aren't you doing anything? Why are you like worrying about things?
Oh, your downtime when you're on R&R?
Yeah. Because if I keep myself busy, I feel like I'm enjoying myself. Like it gives me motivation to play video games and stuff. It keeps me focused to be able to do that. So yeah, it helps a lot with like quieting my mind with all those anxieties. It's like the lemon G. That's what I use that for. And I got that in a cart not too long ago at our dispensary.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take that with me.
Okay. All right.
I wanted to take that with me to my past job, but you and I were sharing a 510 battery for a bit.
Yeah, 510 thread.
Yeah.
Now we got new ones.
One to definitely stay away from is myrcene. That will pass you the fuck out. That's what's in like the Gorilla Glues and the Couch Locks and those kind of strains.
Linalool also will knock you out.
Linalool.
The thing with myrcene is a lot of people says it knocks you out, and it can for people because it's an anti-inflammatory. It's a pain relief. Most of the time is when it has also high caryophyllene in it as well. That's when that combination is gonna knock you out.
Yeah.
You can have something that's high in myrcene and limonene, or myrcene and pinene, and it'll keep you awake. That's
kind of like the honey pie I have. If you lightly couple puffs at work, you're great. You're cruising. Like you're not in pain for standing on your feet all day, which is great whenever you're standing on fucking cement floor.
Yeah, it's when you take a lot of it.
You take a lot of it, yeah, you're gonna knock the fuck out. I learned that the hard way because one day I was like, it was when I was sick, wasn't it? I stayed home and I like puffed on that and I ended up sleeping all fucking day, but I needed it too because I was sick. But that's what that is meant for.
Mm-hmm.
If you are sick and you cannot rest, or you're having a hard time winding down for sleep, do a lot of that.
Exactly.
But just know that, like, again, know your body, know which terps work for you for what. Also, be sure to transport your stuff safely. If you're just transporting dry flower, if you're transporting carts, make sure your car's not too hot or wherever you leave it when you're at work.
And smart.
Be smart
Be
about it.
smart. Because,
Be
like,
smart. Less is more at work. Don't be blitzed out of your mind. Don't be like rolling up to a board meeting if you work in an office.
Just 4 dabs deep.
4 dabs deep with your eyes fire truck red and 3 bags of Doritos. Like, no. Be smart.
Don't show up like on like you're like in a scene in Friday.
Yeah. Or like your eyes look like Towley from South Park.
Oh my god, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, just be smart. My biggest thing with people is you're protected in our state, but the company can ask you not to do it on the property, which is fair. But it's one of those things you got to do it smart. You got to do it responsibly. It is medicine. There are pain relief medications that can make people really loopy, and you have to be smart and be conscious of how you're doing it and everything. Obviously, the big ones I automatically think of is like Vicodin.
Yeah.
But I mean,
in Adderall, we were talking about Adderall too. If that is misused, it can be dangerous.
Yeah. Or even just being new to it too. I know sometimes people zonk out on it.
My little tip here is just like try to adjust your amount with how stressful your job is. So, because some strains under pressure will make you freak out. I've had some stuff I've taken to work that some of that other stuff I vaped on, like when I first started getting my card, those older ones before I emptied those. I freaked the heck out on that Harlequin. It's a nice 1-to-1 blend for like being around the house. But if you put any sort of pressure on me, I like get sweaty, I get hot, I get irritated, I get snappy, and it's not good.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the terpenes react differently depending on how your body's reacting.
Yeah, so if you got a high stress job, be careful with some of the terps that are going to kind of make you more alert and more like peak focused on things.
And with that, I'll add the tip we usually give to people with edibles. Start small and low and slowly work your way up, because you can always add more, but you can never take away what you did.
Yeah, you can try to like dull it with black pepper, or I heard like with caffeine can kind of mellow you out too.
Yeah, there's ways to kind of help it, like you just hit a CBD only strain or something like that, but it's always better with new strains, with new environments, when you're using a strain to go low and slow.
Like, this is a new thing. I've been puffing on this for a little bit, and like I was spacing it out in the beginning, and then I was like, okay, well, this feels okay. I'm gonna get some more,
Yeah.
So.
Do you have any other topics?
No, that was my. Excuse me, that was my last one.
All right.
Just talking about the how you can smoke at work. Oh, excuse me. Always be safe and responsible as well.
So I wanted to cover some basics. Since we do have some new first timers in the state program with that I've seen on my end. At work, there's a lot more people getting their card recently because it's a lot more easy to get accessible and everything. And also the biggest thing is New Jersey going rec. You're going to have a lot of people that are going to go to New Jersey to just kind of chill over there for a bit and hang out. Even if they're not bringing it back over here, they're going to use it while they're over there. So
same deal with like why people go to Colorado.
Or California or Canada.
Yeah.
So I got some tips for some of our newbies, or even just fresh reminders for some of our older folks, that are veterans and everything. Because some people don't know the science stuff, because the terpene profiles are a newer thing in the grand scheme of like cannabis.
And I feel like
cannabis science.
Shit. Gosh, I'm so squeaky. I'm so sorry. And I feel like I've said this in the podcast before of like how I feel like that is being looked at more than like indica versus sativa. And it's a lot better breakdown of what is going to work best for you.
So what is sativa, hybrid, and indica was the first question I wrote. Sativa and indica are basically evolutionary strains or sets of cannabis. Sativas, I believe, are more the not West Asian, the South Asian, one of the more around India, Pakistan, small parts of China. These are the strains that are kind of similar between African and Asian elephants. They're similar, but they're different.
Yeah.
It's that way, but plants. So indica is more South America, that climate in the the Americas,
Mhm.
in that climate and everything. That's the biggest difference. The one really cool thing is, and I like to tell people, or hybrids are obviously just blends,
They're blends
cross
of both of
strains.
them, yeah.
So what I talk about with people kind of as a frame of reference. Now, not all sativas are going to make you jittery. Not all indicas are going to make you sleepy.
I actually found
We have
sativa.
two sativas that we really like that help with your anxiety.
Exactly, and I never thought I would be able to say that I really, really liked a sativa.
So sativas I usually give to people. Obviously, it's a little hyperbole. It's a Japanese monorail. It increases your blood pressure or heartbeat, your heart rate. What am I trying to say here?
Your heart rate.
Your heart rate. Yeah, your heart rate is more.
Increases.
Yes,
your
that's
heart
what.
races. You are getting such mush. Everything
okay, so
confused.
your heart rate increases or your heart races, which triggers anxiety issues in some people.
In me, case in point, that is what triggers me a lot of the time.
But that's obviously most sativas, not all.
I get that way. Side note: if I drink too much coffee, because we were talking earlier about self-medicating with stimulants for like neurodivergency, and that's how some people get caffeine dependencies. If I get way too much caffeine, that triggers an anxiety attack for me.
But also, you've quit nicotine, which
I've quit nicotine. Yeah, that also raises your heart rate, which can also trigger my anxiety.
So maybe with more sativas might not be a bad thing because you're way off nicotine now.
I'm way off. How long has it been? A month and a half?
About 2 months.
2 months I've been off nicotine. And like my Fitbit, when I wear it, I've been having some...
Your resting heart rate is way lower now.
Oh yeah, I've been having some arthritis problems. Sleeping, my heart rate has dipped to 54 beats per minute.
Nice.
And it was never that low, even when I was sleeping, when I was vaping. So like, yeah.
But going back on track, trains. Hybrid, I would kind of say is like an Amtrak or just the average personal like subway train or anything.
Yeah.
And then indicas are kind of like those old school coal trains, like the steam engines.
Yeah, that take a while to get going.
Yeah, so not even like it's sluggish.
They're just sluggy.
Yeah. So if those are the trains, so what people ask me what are terpenes? I'm like, terpenes are the tracks.
Yeah.
And depending on how those tracks will get you to someplace faster. Some are shorter than others, so they hit you faster. Take pinene. You can have a sluggish train, but if it's like a downhill track, that train's still gonna go fast.
Oh my god, the only thing I can think of right now is this freaking trolley questions. Oh my god.
Oh god, yeah. But what I would describe pinene is the scene in the Polar Express where they're going down that mountain and they almost lose control. That's pinene in an indica. Yeah. Now imagine a monorail of the sativa. Jesus. Pinene. It's a steep incline down because it's fast.
Yeah.
So terpenes are basically the cannabinoids. So you have cannabinoids and terpenes. Cannabinoids are CBD, THC, THV, all those other things are hitting the receptors in the endocannabinoid system or the C1, C2 in the stomach when you digest stuff. Terpenes are kind of things that are being taken along the ride, but they're the ones that are responsible for the brain. If I remember correctly, the research that I saw on this, and fun fact, my pharmacist at my dispensary, or one of them, she's actually going to go to a pharmacist meeting in the state for the medical program, and the guy who actually discovered and has done the most research on the endocannabinoid system is going to be talking there.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
And I'm like, can I have notes? Can you record it for me?
Yeah. Oh my god, that's awesome.
But basically, the terpenes are what kind of tells the receptors what hormones to release in the body. Mm-hmm. So take linalool. Linalool is found in lavender naturally, and it helps induce sleep. That's the terpene that's found inside lavender plant.
Yeah.
So when they hit the receptors in the brain, it releases starts with an M. You take it. It's in sleep supplement. Melatonin. It tells the brain and the body's hormone to release melatonin in the body, and that's what terpenes do. They tell the body to release certain hormones to do certain things.
And that's why like essential oils aren't completely pseudoscience. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, like
it's how they're used.
The way
though.
but like they do have some weight to them.
Yes.
For mood and like sleep improvement.
Because like essential oils are used in medicine.
Yeah.
It's just like you can't slather on like lavender scented essential oil to help cure cancer.
No, not really. And
I mean, you can put it in like on your neck or near your nose to help with sleep.
There's also some that is supposed to help increase your immune system a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of like vitamin C. Taking vitamin C does it a little bit, but it's not like
it's gonna 100% cure you from the common cold.
Yeah. It just helps things along a little bit. But yeah, that's how like there have been studies that like the scent of lemon, like that's why you put it in cleaning products to make your house feel cleaner and to make you like feel like better. It's cheerier and better since you cleaned. Yeah.
How do I know what helps? This is one thing I've gotten a lot from customers and new patients, and I tell them keep a weed journal.
Those are the best.
Because some of them are like, I don't know what's giving me anxiety, but some of these are giving me anxiety, and I'm like, keep a weed journal. Write down the terpene profile and be like, this is what you use. These are the terpenes, and this is how you felt with this form at this dosage and this time frame, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you break it down to, okay, I use the vaporizer, and I'll use your Harlequin story. Use a vaporizer at home, you feel fine. Use a vaporizer in a stressful environment, and you went wiggy.
Yeah.
You got very bad anxiety. So you write the terpenes, and then you do that with every strain, and you will eventually start seeing a pattern 5 or 6 strains in.
Yeah.
But the form also does kind of help. Say you take Harlequin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you use it to make an edible. How the edibles are digested in the body, how everything hits the bloodstream, how everything gets processed does have different effects to certain things. And certain terpenes will not enter the body when they're ingested.
Yeah.
Myrcene being one of them, unless they're attached to certain fats that I've learned.
Yeah, that's a whole chemistry project over there trying to make edibles. Holy shit. It's so more complex than what my aunt said to me when I was a teenager. Like, yeah, just throw some pot and some brownies and call it a day.
Yeah, like if you want the medical effects, there's so much science you have to learn behind it.
It's so sciencey to make edibles.
But so cool. You don't always have to learn it. You can always just ask your bud tender, ask your cannabis advisor or the pharmacist, be like, hey,
what can I put in edibles?
Yeah, what would be the good use for this? And we'll tell you. We'll help you. And if the one that's helping you doesn't know, we'll get someone who will know.
Yeah, you'll find answers for people.
What are some good tips for new cannabis users? Start slow and smart. That's the best thing I can do or say is take a couple puffs, see how you feel. If you feel okay, take a couple more.
That's why early on with pretty much all new patients, at least around here where I noticed, they're like, hey, get a couple cartridges, get a 510 battery, and that's a good way to ease yourself into dosing because it's a little bit more difficult to try to dose yourself with flower sometimes than it would be with a puff of a vape cartridge.
And when you get patients who can't vaporize because like lung issues or something or just don't want the stigma around it, they use tinctures. We tell them, take a half a drop or take a quarter of a drop of the drop, the eyedropper thing, and slowly ease up into the higher dosages.
Yeah.
Because like I said earlier, you can always add more, but you can never take away.
And you never want to green out. That is not a pleasant experience. No. I've been there. It sucks.
If you're going to eat edibles, don't eat a lot of, and this has happened to me, don't eat a lot of stuff before you eat the edibles.
Or even before you smoke sometimes. Don't have a heavy stomach. Like if you just ate a buffet at Golden Corral, don't immediately spark up in the parking lot. You are going to throw up.
Because I don't know if it's something in the oils or something, but sometimes it just makes your stomach upset.
Yeah.
And you can puke. That happened to me before. I ate like literally like I was gaming with some friends and like over the span of like 4 hours, I ate like 2 bags of chips, like a thing of beef jerky, like a 2-liter, and then ate 2 brownies.
I had a very similar story I went to a frat, but they weren't supposed to call themselves frats at RMU, but they were they're the Greek life guys were having an open house. And I had like a hamburger, 2 hot dogs, 2 small bags of chips, like 3 things of lemonade. And then I went and like smoked a quarter of a blunt with some guys in the on the nature trail at RMU. And the number that there was a lot going on there. The blunt wrap probably didn't help anything because it was tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
And then all that food that I ate and walking around outside and going up the steps and being like trying to catch my breath.
Yeah, you just
everything. I literally, they call it greening out for a reason because everything turns green and you projectile vomit.
See, I never greened out.
I did.
I didn't want those brownies. I think I just ate too much, and my stomach was like, "Oh, cool, we're adding something. Oh, wait, this is really oily."
Yeah. Mine just that smoke just turned my stomach sour, and as soon as I sat down on my bed, it was just yeah. So just be careful and be smart and like
don't let people pressure you on using more.
Yeah.
And just
go at your own pace.
Go at your own pace and listen to your body. Listen, if you think like I feel like I'm doing too much, stop. Don't push yourself to do more. Just be like, you know what? I think I'm okay. Or I don't know. If you're starting to question how you're feeling and everything, stop.
That's what I do for the podcast. Whenever we smoke for the podcast, that's not my normal medication, except for if I'm going to go to bed, because then I want to smoke myself out and go to sleep. But I will get to that point where I like to make the stupid joke of that song "One Toke Over the Line." And I'll be like, I'm pretty sure I'm sufficiently high. And then I'll be like, yeah, I could probably stop. And I take one more hit and then I'm done. Because that's how I want to be for like the podcast and stuff.
Yeah.
But if I'm just like medicating for like going around doing daily stuff, I'll just take a hit or two. Like, especially in the morning, I've gotten into taking like 1 or 2 hits just off of
to start your day.
To start my day off of something that has high in limonene, because it helps with my stomach, because I get really sick in the morning still. Like I've always gotten
that's humulene.
What?
Your strains also are really high in humulene, which helps with your stomach.
Oh, well then, yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, like hitting something like that to, help my stomach in the morning, because I don't know what it might have been something from like being anorexic or like what happened. I don't know, but I would always get really nauseous in the morning. That's sometimes why I have a problem eating breakfast. And like I threw up the other day because I had like carbonation and like brushed my teeth and had a lot to eat that morning, really in a close time span of each other, and I threw up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, my stomach just gets sour in the morning sometimes, and I had that issue all throughout high school. But like taking a hit or two of like a vape pen helps, and I'm not even stoned. I'm just medicated.
The last thing I got is, what forms do they come in?
So many. Gosh,
so many. This is not legal in every state, including ours. But here's all the forms you can get cannabis used in. Tinctures.
Mm-hmm.
Just take a little, drop it under your tongue. Pain cream, like creams, salves.
Those are so nice.
Those are good, really good for like pain management and everything. You can apply it directly on where you're hurting on the body.
Head on, apply directly to the forehead.
I fucking hate you so much right now. I love you, but fuck you.
I love you too.
Let's see, edibles.
Yeah.
Creams or gummies, cookies, brownies.
I've seen sodas, coffees, capsules.
Capsules, like that. Capsules are legal in our state.
Yeah.
RSO, Rick Sampson oil. Distillate syringes. Extracts, which those last 2 are under, but you got like shatter, which is kind of like that sticky, kind of like peanut brittle looking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sugar or sand, obviously that's the consistency they're borrowed from.
Yeah.
Resin, kind of like honey almost. Yeah. Crumble, which is kind of like wet sugar.
Yeah.
Kind of like peach cobbler crumble on top, or brown sugar.
Yeah.
Wax, obviously wax.
Yeah. Self-explanatory.
Then you have flour, vape cartridges, and vape cartridges can go into a myriad of like CO2 extracted distillates, live liquid resin.
Wasn't there sugar, live sugar?
Yeah, live sugar. That's what my AgriKind is.
Yeah.
And so there's so many forms, and there's probably more that we can think of. And people are always trying to make new stuff. Like I'm making a infused mixer that's supposed to be used to help medicate or enjoy your time when your friends are drinking alcohol and you don't want to get crossfaded, you don't drink, and you're a cannabis user.
Yeah.
Can you still enjoy the fun?
Yeah, you can make weed cocktails with it.
Exactly.
It's so good. Oh my gosh, that was a great way to get stoned the other day.
Right?
That was amazing.
Really fun.
Yeah.
But like things like that are, kind of the there's so many forms, and there's so easy to get your, kind of just mentally ass over tea kettle in your brain with it and get confused and lost. So the biggest thing I can tell you is to navigate that, listen to your bud tenders.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to them because they'll help you.
Or if you're listening to this and you want to rewind a little bit in the episode, today's a perfect day to learn about all of this stuff. Go call those people with that the cannabis hotline. Go give them a ring. They'll be more than happy to answer all your questions.
And you're listening to us in the future, say like it's next week or something, that line won't help you.
Yeah, no, sorry about that. I don't know if you can maybe still message their Instagram. You could try that.
Probably.
But
like, ask around. Hell, if you have any questions, you can hit us up at smokingoutthecloset@gmail.com.
And we will try to get to all of your questions. Or you can hit us up on the myriad of social
Instagram,
medias.
Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah. Don't do a sky rating because we probably won't see it. It's too cloudy out here for that.
Yeah, we're in Pittsburgh. It's too cloudy.
Too cloudy. It's partly cloudy. God, I want to try that beer so bad.
All right. Well, we're at the end of the episode. So once again,
fun.
It really has. So once again, my name is Rayven. I use she, her pronouns.
My name is Alex. I use they, them pronouns.
And we'll see you in the next episode.
Happy 420.
Happy 420, folks. Smoke weed every day.
Yeah.